Hi.
We're live now. How are you?
Hi, everyone. How's it going?
I'm doing really good. How about you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Finally glad to actually be talking to you after seeing you on, the different channels and, us corresponding this and that and the other. And it's fun.
Good.
Ah, there it is. Okay. So, um, where do we start?
Wherever you want to start.
Okay. I sent you my book. I guess we can start talking about my book, all about Scientology.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you think about it?
Um, I really liked it. I sometimes it's hard for me to put into like poems. Like I can pop an essay out like nobody's
Mhm,
business. Give
mhm.
me a thesis and I will pop like those I'm good at. But when
Yeah.
it comes to putting like the lyrical spin to it,
Hmm.
not so much. But yours was done very nicely.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm still when I get down or when I feel like am I not doing enough, I do still constantly read the Whipple Will. I
Yeah. That's good. That's what when I wrote it. I don't know if you watched the whole video that I made for it when I talked about the process, but your story just it hit that part of me that I didn't have the best relationship with my dad. Him and my mom split up when I was 4, so yada yada yada. It's just classic, uh, you know, uh, textbook type of situation. So when he passed, it was really really hard on me, and because uh, the last time he and I actually saw each other, we did not part on good terms. We talked, and that was like I was 20. He died when I was 12. So that was like 4 or 5 years, 5 or 6 years since I'd seen him. And he was going to come out and he was going to come visit, and I was going to have my talk with him because I was ready. And he passed, so I didn't get that chance. And when I heard about your situation, and it kind of touched that chord in me, and writing, it was not like I sat down to write this. I'm like, I heard your story. Okay, I'm going to write this. It's like I heard your story, and then something said, "Oh, you need to write this." And I had to dive through all those issues. It's like I was bawling by the time I finished writing it, but I wanted to keep it short and compact and to make the statement, and and you know to to let you know that people out there understand, which is what anybody needs in a situation like this. If I found out my dad was still alive, I'd be like, what? But
yeah, you could
I
most
know he isn't.
yeah.
So and that's the difference. I whatever closure I had, I actually got his dates. I don't know if you can see it on my arm here.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, him and my brother, uh, and so that was my way of bringing some type of closure to it. And I think writing this too kind of helped too. You know, I
That's
was.
always a good thing.
Mhm. And writing is a beautiful thing when you can even touch one person. And it's nice that I was able to even do that little bit for you. And not even knowing you, but just hearing your story.
I appreciate that. I truly do.
Mhm.
Looks did you want me to
What?
um the person hold on one second.
Oh, yeah, Mrs. J.
Yep, you ready for it?
Yeah,
All right, is she ready for us? Want to give us a wave? Okay.
this is my partner in crime, Mrs. J.
Hello.
Hello,
Nice
hello,
to meet
Mrs.
you.
J. How are you?
I'm
She
very
is the
well.
she is the one who did this lovely artwork
I
here.
am. Yes.
Yeah, I had the idea, and she came up with the design. And when I looked at it, it was just like, yes, that's it. So,
That is
so,
that is wonderful.
so
Mrs. J, could you say hello?
Hello, lovely. Can you hear me?
Lovely. Okay. So are we going Wales or are we going towards like
South, south, south,
that?
right to the bottom.
Okay.
I live on the foot of England.
Okay. I was like, it has that Wales twang. I was like,
Yeah, I used to live near Wales for a very long time.
yeah,
I
you
was
can't.
across the water from Wales. I've got a twang of lots of different lots of different areas. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm
Yeah, yeah.
Liz.
Nice to meet you. I'm Abby, but everyone calls me Mrs. J. So there we go. It seems to have it's just stuck.
Hey, that's okay that it's stuck because realistically, everybody calls me, her, and now people call me Liz.
Well, well,
Yeah.
well, at least people don't confuse you with Poe on the Go.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've
do you
done
get
that
confused with
to you a
Poe?
couple times. Like even when I was
Yeah,
telling Carrie, I was like, "Oh, I'm doing a live with Poe." Wait a minute, I'm doing a live with Poe Friday, but then he ended the internet problems,
yeah.
and then I was like, "No, poet is today. Poet." I have to remember to throw in the
Yeah. Well,
and then it
that's
makes
why.
total sense.
Yeah, that's why I have my name on the parentheses on the thing. But I don't mind being called poet because that's what I am.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
You are. That's why every time I see you, I'm like, "Hey, poet."
Now you can say, "Hey, Mrs. J."
That's right. Now when I see, well, I mean, I try to say hi to everybody, just because the fact that everybody's sitting there listening to me, and I'm just I'm just a girl that grew up in a cult that still believed when they were 40 years old, had some, you know, for those of you that don't know my story, had some very atrocious upbringings.
Yeah.
And then come to find out, like, we left the cult area and then we continued being cult members, and then turn around, I rejoined the cult, and then, oh yeah, I get tortured a little bit more. Doesn't that sound
I
like
know it
fun?
very well. I was brought up in born again fundamental Christianity, um, with praying in tongues, evil spirits, and all that, and some. My father was or still is he's retired now, a famous evangelist here in the UK, and I haven't spoken about his name, and I won't do until I don't want to do that to upset them. This is
Yeah.
enough. Um, I suffered quite badly with religious trauma syndrome. It's good, isn't it?
I never understood that. I'm not trying to say, that it's an off the wall thing. It's just different. And so for me, it was like a friend of mine did as she called it, praying in tongues.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Is that right?
speaking in tongues.
yeah. Well,
Okay, speaking in tongues.
Both is good.
Yeah.
I never understood it. Like it didn't click in me. So like, and then one day, I think I was like, I want to say I was like 12 years old, and I went to church with my friend, and her parents were just looking up and their eyes were closed and just and like spitting this stuff. And I'm like, I look over and everybody's doing it. And I'm like, am I broken? Like they said, the
Yeah.
Holy Spirit takes you over. And I'm like, I'm
Well,
broken.
well,
I'm broken.
I was kind of the same way. I grew up in Christian, surrounded by Christianity. Right. I'm from the rural South, so it's part of the Bible Belt. My mom was a Bible thumper at one point, especially uh, after my parents' marriage split up. She really delved deep into it for a while, and we did church hopping and everything. But I was lucky that when I was 7, 8 years old, she let me decide for myself, and I'm like, not for me. But I was still, still, it was all in the air around here, and I always thought it didn't jive, didn't feel right. So if something doesn't feel right for you, then it's probably not.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
so
Or
if it works for somebody, good. Just don't try to push it on to me.
But there is a line there, and it's inside you, and it says, it's a bit weird.
Mm-hmm.
But you
Well,
carry on, and you're like,
well,
yeah, but
just
this is a little bit weird.
yeah,
Mhm.
just like with Dianetics, like a say in the introduction to this thing. I was out
Yeah, I've got
here. I remember the exploding volcano commercials, and it was just
Mhm.
like, okay, I like science fiction, and I read fantasy and science fiction and all that stuff, and I'd heard of him, but this is a self help book. No,
Yeah,
no, no.
because don't you know that aliens rule us, and you just need to get your
Yeah,
Satan, your spirit to be well,
yeah,
because then you can cure anything. You can cure any ailment. Cancer gone.
yeah,
Yeah, except that's what people are dying of in there. It's
yeah.
cool.
which for me, it's different to that. This is God's plan for you, so it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck
Yep.
you. It's not okay. Actually, go sit on that. It's not okay. It's not okay. I am not okay. This situation isn't okay. What you're saying isn't okay, and you're the one that it's the whole gaslighting. You're constantly
Yeah.
being gaslighted all the time, all the time. Your whole life is filled with it, and unpicking it. Unpicking those moments where you have to go back and look at that and analyze what has happened to you, and how it happened to you, and giving yourself such a hug at that moment, going, actually, you were right.
Mm-hmm.
You were right, and you're right now as well. Um, I don't see my family. I don't see them because of my situation. I just cannot do it any longer. I can't mask this, which is what they want me to do, which is to be prim and proper, and wear this clothing and act like this because you are in front of these people, and it's absolutely exhausting. Even not being a Christian, I had to do that. And I'm like, what am I doing? So I had to remove myself away from my family because they're mental.
Yeah, and I guess for me it was a little reverse.
Yeah.
Um my family was pretty much like, you're doing cult stuff. That's a cult. Just ugh. And then my mom was like, it's not a cult, just ignore them, just ignore them. And I'd be like, some of these things aren't right. Like, why do I have to have someone rub my body? Like, why do I have to
Yeah,
touch a
that's
wall? Like, if I'm hurt, why did I cause my pain? Sorry, guys. You see that right there? The
Yeah.
missus is decorating for Halloween
cool.
Eh,
because our and she's normally decorated so much faster.
Mhm.
Um, but she is not okay that Halloween is not set up in the house, and here it is the 7th. So she's on overdrive to get everything set up for Halloween.
I
So
love that.
decorations are flying everywhere.
Yeah.
Um, but you're absolutely right. There were times when I was a kid that I would think this isn't okay, but then there were times that I had the shit knocked out of me, and so then it's like, okay, well, if it's between believing or getting the shit knocked out of me, I'm going to believe,
Mhm.
because that's the safer guess, the safest route to take.
Yeah, it's
And
protecting. It's protecting yourself.
yeah,
It's and especially you seem to be a pretty empathetic person. Your does your heart go? Your heart goes out to people, and you want to help them, and all that stuff, and that can easily be used. In definitely a bad way. And I see that a lot in a lot of the stories that y'all tell. Like for Jackson, for example, he seems like just a chill guy.
he seems like a teddy bear to me. He's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
like
yeah,
the sweetest guy. Like, he's the guy
yeah,
that you just want to buy a beer for, because you're like,
yeah. And I even
really?
wrote
Did you
I
just
wrote a
want beer?
limerick for him. I wrote a limerick for him the other day and sent it to him, and he liked it and everything. And because that's what I did. I put he's just a righteous dude with a chill attitude. But he did some of the horrendous. He enabled some horrendous things. And I can tell when he's telling the stories that he feels so bad about it. And
Yeah.
we all tell him, it's okay. You're doing the right thing now. Back then you did what you did. Now you're doing the right thing, and all that matters is now.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's a little of both.
Yeah.
Because I'm all about taking responsibility for my actions.
Yeah.
Um, I just I wasn't kind to people.
Mhm.
I was not, and so I do see a few people or some people that are throwing up the Venmo stuff for me. Thank you so much. But for me, it's about what they took from me that makes it. If you took this from me, then you've taken this from other people and other people and other people.
I
So
get that. And what I've done is I've looked at those moments and gone, I have to forget about that, but I don't have to forgive.
no.
I don't have to forgive. It's fine. But all you need to do is just forget. And actually, when you start to let go of that and actually see it as that, it does start to go because those moments where you could hit a wall, where you have a reaction because you've seen something and something triggers you, those moments, they're the moments that you go, I can't do anything about any of that. But what I can do is not forgive that person and go, actually, and just let it flippity gibbet out your head.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Because that's what my plan is. Like I've been talking. I am a big believer on therapy. I'm a big believer on psychiatry. It works. It does work. It saved my life. Like I don't know if either of you guys are near Los Angeles with your accent.
No, I'm in Arkansas.
I'm in Devon.
Oh, okay.
I'm in Devon.
Okay. But there is a big rally coming up on the 21st of October.
Yeah, I wish I could make it, but
you can join the live stream because I know I'm going to be live streaming it.
Yes,
and I always send you. Anybody that asks me to send them stuff, or I just pay. Here you go. If you want to catch the live, if you can. Now, Miss J, you're going to have to send me. You have to send me a Facebook request.
Absolutely.
Because I don't have you. Otherwise, I would constantly be like, hey.
Yeah, no worries.
But at the same time, it's like that's how I'm going to confront it. I'm going down there for a couple different reasons. Like one of them being is I want to confront my demons at that building, and I want to let them go. Is it going to be easy? Probably not. But with my therapist and everything else, I just want to let it go. I want to let go that power has over me.
Just know this, that I will totally be standing there with you in spirit for that moment.
Yes, definitely.
And going, actually, we're all doing that, mate. And we're with you when you do that. And it's going to be really, really, really freeing, and so much weight's going to be lifted. It's going to be amazing.
I know it's going to help with help my lose weight for Denver. It's going to be like Bruce Almighty. I'm just going to shed the weight and be like,
yes, yeah.
But
turn around like that and do that behind you. Later.
But hey, and if we haven't said, hey, Osha, wow, I really just blew it myself. Hey, Osa, welcome in the comments. Thank you so very much for joining my live. I'll even give you my William Shatner, and we can rescue everybody together. Since you guys all like this, the sci-fi.
And you can, they can look at my website at www.iamelronhubbard.com and go and see what he's done. In the last few weeks, because Osa's not been sorting that out. So go and have a look.
Come say hi. Like, if you want to email me, I'm more than welcome to have a discussion with you. If you want to do a live, I'll have a discussion with you. And I won't even be nasty.
Yeah, definitely.
I live too good of a life now. Like my life is all about learning and growing, and that's one thing I do understand with your poems. Like I read it and it's like I'm learning and growing. I'm taking this masterpiece and learning and growing. And I think, again, the biggest poetry people I've ever followed will always be Maya Angelou.
Yeah.
because when you grow up in a cult, you don't really know how to be a woman. Like, I wasn't very feminine or dainty. I was like, oh, I'm in a dress. It's going to tear. I'm climbing a tree. Oh, I'm in a dress. I'm going to go ride my dirt bike. I don't care as long as it's dirt bike proof. But Maya Angelou at least makes you realize that it's in the sway of your hips and the glide and the this and the that. And it doesn't even have to be physical. It's just how you present yourself.
Yeah. See, that's the beauty of poetry. Like you're saying, you write prose, essays, and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my prose it bores me. I've tried to write stories. I've got ideas for novels and all that stuff, and especially in my younger days, I wanted to write some epic fantasy and everything. It just never worked out because maybe undiagnosed ADD. I don't know, but I get bored easy. And doing the short form, well, for me, it helps me express myself in a way that doing descriptions of this and that and dialogue, it doesn't work because you've heard of Ernest Hemingway, right?
Yeah, I've heard of Ernest Hemingway.
Okay, he had a concept called the tip of the iceberg. That's where that came from, right?
Okay.
Yeah, everything that if I'm not mistaken, he was one of the first people to actually use that image for diving deep into something, just the tip of the iceberg. He wrote really, he was his specialty was short stories, right? He wrote these really touching. I really like his short stuff more than his longer novels, and that's what he'd do. So that's what with the haikus and all that stuff. It tells a story, but you can read so much into it, and especially like the limericks. The limericks, I don't know how many of them you've read, but I tried to put in a lot of pop culture, and especially the pop culture I grew up with, like for Top Xenu, for instance, Top Xenu, Top Gun,
Yeah.
and there's no finer flyer of the DC-8 Starliner. I just think that when I thought of that, I thought that was just hilarious because it makes fun of the Xenu story, and it makes fun of the TC, and just makes fun of the whole thing. And
Volcano is the tip of the iceberg. The island, and then the rest of it's all underneath the sea.
Yeah. So I like to call myself a joker and degrader. You got your SPs and your PTSs. Well, I'm a JND. Joker and degrader, which I will. I kind of like that because normally I don't think I'm a funny person. Uh, maybe some people laugh at me because of what the crap I do. But when I was able to think of these limericks and everything, and just it made me laugh. So I that was my biggest thing, wanting to bring attention to all this, and using like not necessarily gallows humor, but humor, because laughter can it can make something that's serious palatable. Like I was watching the interview that Mike and Leah did with Rosemary Brown. Can't really remember.
Yeah, she's the one that Mike Brown got out.
Yeah, and when she called LRH a piece of shit, I just started laughing. I don't know if y'all watched it yet. Have you watched it? That was just the greatest moment there. This sweet little old lady saying that, and so anyway, I forgot where I was going with this, but
right.
Humor can just be it can start people thinking, and that's why stand-up comedians can be instrumental in societal change. For example, you got Seinfeld. I remember him in the 90s when he was really popular, and that was when the attitudes in mainstream America, especially here, started changing about homosexuality. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It just takes that little bitty line to get people to think and to start that crack in the dam. And I hope that through my work here that I'm able to accomplish some of that. Because if Osa watches my videos, I don't know, uh, when I do my haikus and limericks, all that stuff, and if it causes one of those guys to go, maybe I should blow, then that my job's done.
Yep.
You know, or other than either that they leave me alone or they come sue me. I don't know.
It'll be one of the above.
Yeah, one of the above. Most likely, they're just going to leave me alone.
It's possible
because there's
how loud of a noise.
Because there's a lot of bigger voices in this community. I'm a little bitty, here with my little poems and all this stuff, and you got all these larger voices, more, more.
I just do silly cartoons.
Yeah.
And that's okay, because every bit of it, it's like, for me, every piece that everyone does, whether you're a never in, whether you're a second gen, a third gen, a fourth gen, first gen, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Any little piece is a crack in that wall. Mm-hmm. Someone, like, if we're screaming, I know I have like 1,600 subscribers. Mm-hmm. I'm screaming at 1,600 people. Well, those 1,600 people know at least, let's give them minimum 3 friends. Mm-hmm. That's 1,600 times 3, and then each of those 3, another times 3, and you just keep going. And then before you know it, everyone will stay away. Yeah. They won't be able to get the money because people will know there's torture behind those walls. There's barely eating. There's rice and beans. There's sleeping on cots. There's sleeping with cockroaches. There's writing all of every crime that you supposedly committed, all the way down to you pulled up your underwear too fast and it accidentally tore. That's a crime, because it can be, because at the same time, I remember being told it was a crime because someone else had purchased those underwear for me, and I was in such a hurry, I just yanked and just tore it. And all of a sudden didn't want to tell the person that got me. And again, I was little, didn't want to tell this person that got me underwear, oh, I accidentally tore it. So then that turns into a crime, because I'm also a crime of omitting what had happened. And it's like everything shouldn't have been how it was. We should have had each and every one of us, Laboop, Serge Delmar, Sergio Walensky.
Oh yeah.
You've got Claire, Mark, Mike, every single one of us. I know I'm missing people. Alex. Mm-hmm. I'm so bad at like going down the list. I probably didn't mention it, but Vaboop, I might have. But every single one of us went through some form of twisted torture or another, whether it was physical or emotional. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so by you guys also helping us, we're sitting here screaming, but you're also helping. So you're helping get our voice out. Mm-hmm. So every person is a crack in that wall. Every person, even, as I just see, I'm going to throw Poe up here real quick because it's the Poe.
Oh, it's Poe.
Yep. Poe on the go. Hey, everybody. Amazing internet came back about 20 minutes ago. Nice. Oh, 20 minutes after we were supposed to go live. Oh, we'll reschedule. Absolutely. Yeah. That's the guy I wanted to, I wanted as a dad, right there, would have thrown down for his children. But, it's each and every one of us, whether an in or not in, is making a crack. And those cracks will eventually become holes. And once it becomes holes, then nobody wants to stay behind those walls because they all have an exit out.
Yeah, and that's what one of the probably miscavige are afraid of. Fear can make you do interesting things. Let's just put it that way. And and I'll be there to write about it when it happens.
Yeah. And like what's going on the 21st, I'm doing a live. I believe, I know that Aaron posted that he's going. I know he'll be live. So we're going to be hitting this from every single angle to let people know what's going on.
There's also a protest. There's also a protest here in England.
With Apostate Alex.
Yeah.
Apostate Alex. Yeah, that's another one that's happening. I can't go because it's too far. I'm literally the other side of the country. So can't go. I'm gutted. But if any British people are watching this and they want to go to that, go and have a look on Alex's channel, Apostate Alex. And if you've got a drone, take it with you.
Yeah.
It's going to be
like fly it over. I would love to see it.
Take your drones. Take your drones.
Yeah, and hopefully I'll be able to write something about it. Who knows?
Yeah, and anybody that's got a drone and knows how to operate it, like I've always wanted to get a drone. Like I'd love to learn how to fly it without it going. But I think some people think that drone flying is an art, and I'm like, yeah. Can't get the nice ones. They'll explode.
Get you a little bitty one and start small.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the little tiny one.
Like they're just gonna just fly off, go shoot, and destroy against the wall.
Yeah, and that's my fear because I have always wanted one. Oh, is it Baboop? Hold on.
She's in the chat. Oh yeah, hi everybody in the chat. I see it rolling by and everything, so don't want to.
It's Vanessa. I call her Baboop. I know. So I was watching a couple of lives the other day, and everybody is kind of taking on the Baboop.
Yeah.
Because she's Vanessa Boop, as in Vanessa Boop, Baboop. You know, we don't need to worry about Betty Boop.
Yeah.
We got Baboop.
Hi Kim, how you doing?
Can you guys not click or no? I thought I put it to.
I tried, but I can't.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess we can say hi to people. And
I would absolutely say hi to people because otherwise I don't know, or just let me know.
Yeah.
And I'll grab each and every one of them.
Yeah, we got Joni in the chat. There's retired.
Hi, Joni.
We got, of course, we got Miss Kim D. Hi.
Kim D. Hi. Yeah.
And there's Goldie. Hi, Goldie.
I love how she's got Maud.
Yeah, someone actually made that for her.
Nice. See, everybody's kind. I've gotten a whole bunch of stuff. I have most of it behind me, like the be a pineapple and wear a crown, or and the Pikachu that Marilyn made me is on the other side, and I refuse to take out of the bag because my mom made it for me.
Speaking of something Marilyn made,
nice.
Yeah, I'm so proud of this. You know, I'm a Star Wars geek. I was at the I remember going to the original when it came out, when it was just Star Wars. I remember the long lines and all that stuff. So it's been near and dear to my heart. And when she made that Xenu outfit, I'm like, I'll ask her if she can do this. So
give him a full-on Jedi outfit.
Yeah.
You should do a haiku Star Wars.
I've done a haiku about Star Wars.
Have you?
Yeah, it's called haiku number 4. What does it go? It goes crap. Here, look at it.
I see Witness in the house. There's Rock Out with Dr. Kim. Mom's in the house. My love is in the house. She's throwing up the Venmo to help us get down there to confront my demons and let people know they can be free and they can be out. And that includes my dad and everyone else's dad.
Yeah, I got it here. It's a Star Wars haiku, haiku number 4. A new Star Wars hope dashed when Disney took over. When will it return? Yeah. Okay. It's I'm kind of iffy on the sequel trilogy, mainly because the story sucked.
Yeah, well, you know what? Okay, so I'm going to throw in my Star Wars 2 cents here. Let's nerd out. Okay. Because first of all, in the original books of Star Wars, so before they even drafted the new movies of Episode 1, Episode 2, Episode 3, and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Starting the beginning, and then what they were going to do for, was it 5, 6, and 7?
Right? This is how it came about. When George Lucas originally came up with the idea for Star Wars, he had it in serialized format, right?
Yeah.
He did 4, 5, and 6, and then he wrote the story arc from 1 to 6. It all became about the rise and fall and redemption of Anakin Skywalker, right? And then he had a treatment that he did for 7, 8, and 9, which they threw out the window, right? And, I don't mind the characters and what they did. What got my goat was the sloppy storytelling.
Well, the original idea was that Leia and Han Solo were going to have 2 kids,
Yeah,
twins, boy and a girl.
That's all from Legends. All right, you've got a set of books, a whole, like, there was 20 years worth of content, worth of novels and comic books and everything. And originally Han and Leia had twins, Jason and Janice Solo, and then they had a third one they named Anakin, right?
Okay.
Mara Jade and Luke Skywalker had one kid that they named Ben, right? So there was a Ben Skywalker and an Anakin Solo. That's why they named Ben Solo in the movies, in the sequel trilogy. So yeah, they ignored all those characters, and I think that's one of the things that really upset a lot of hardcore Star Wars fans. It upset me,
because they turned it into a computer game.
Yeah, they turned it into
a computer game.
Here's the bad guy, and the bad Senator Palpatine now has a granddaughter.
Yeah.
You should have just made it Anakin or the twins.
Yeah, and George Lucas came up with a treatment for 7, 8, and 9 when he sold it to Disney, right? And they threw that out the window. They threw all that stuff out the window. And there's a lot of, it has a lot to do with politics, like identity politics, which I don't want to get into, and all that stuff. So yeah, I like what they're doing now. Like with the Ahsoka series, I enjoyed it. I don't know if you've watched it yet. There's some hits and misses and stuff, but it was pretty good. And I'm waiting to see what Dave Filoni does with it. And then
I've given up on it. I gave up on it after number 5. It was just like the 5th one of watching it going, this story is shit now. Yeah. And I love Star Wars. I absolutely love it.
I can sit and watch most Star Wars any day. Even the stuff from the 70s, you can still sit and watch it and be like, even though it's the worst acting when he gets his hand cut off, it's like,
no. But it's one of my favorites. I love Empire Strikes Back. It's brilliant.
Yeah. They are good movies.
I wanted my first pet to be named after oh god, I can't remember the name of those.
Chewbacca?
No, I wanted Ewok.
Or you just wanted to call it?
I just wanted to call an animal Ewoks. You're an Ewoks, and make sure it was fluffy, but never got around to it. I guess that's the nerd in me. I was just like, that's the coolest name ever.
My dog was called Neo and my cat was called Morpheus. So how would you?
It's a good comic, though. The movie wasn't so great, but it was a very good comic.
On which one? Oh,
Morpheus.
Morpheus? I don't think I'm familiar with that one.
Morpheus is the guy that turns himself into a partial vampire.
Oh, Morbius. Morbius.
Yeah, Morbius.
Morbius, yeah.
Okay, I'm back in the room.
Yeah,
I got confused then. Sorry, got confused between the two.
Yeah, Selena's got a message for you, Mrs. J.
Me?
Yeah. If you look there, it goes.
I really can't. It's too much for me because I have a broken back, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. So traveling is a really difficult thing for me to do. Especially when people don't know me. It's like, they don't know.
I would also, what she can do though is she can take pictures and send them.
Absolutely.
That way you feel like you're there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely, Selena. I wanna see loads of pictures. I'm so pleased you're going. It's
I wish I could
those
attend
moments,
one in LA.
I remember, Alex and I were talking 7 or 8 months ago now, and him saying, do I start a channel and it all, and it's like the British people need to know what's going on in Britain. Mm-hmm. The British people need to know what's going on in Britain because they are blind to it. Mm-hmm. They just think it's a mad group of people leave them to it, leave them behind those big doors in East Grinstead, you know, keep them contained, and it's all okay. Well, no, this is horrific what is going on and what has gone on in this country, and you know, if you look at Alex's channel, now that I'm so proud of him, so he's got his channel. You know, he's found something really, really big.
Yeah, he's determined.
This financial thing.
We all are. We've all locked our fingers in, our toes in. We're grinding our teeth. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah. It's brilliant. And to be a part of this, just to do, you know, my bit with the, you know, trying to just do what I do, which is create art to
and the same here.
Make people think about being in a cult. Basically, that's what I do. You know, and I try and make it humorous and but make people just go, oh, I hadn't thought about that. Or, oh yeah,
yeah.
you know?
Like Liz, of the ones you've read in my book, which one spoke to you the most that you can think of right off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, I'm not great with names, but I remember going through it, and I'm really bad with names. Wow, I really am.
If you could like remember, where was it? One of the limericks?
It was towards the beginning. Hold on, let me just pull it up.
Yeah, you can pull it up, and you know, if you can share it, because you know,
let's do that. Okay.
And where can we get this book, poets?
You can get it on Amazon.
You can get it on Amazon. And how do we get it on Amazon? What do we have to do?
Here, I'll put the link in the in the chat here. But if you go on Amazon and you put in the search all about Scientology, it will come up with the within the very first selection. Right. So here I'm going to put up the link for the Amazon one. Here, let me copy it.
Okay.
Right there. It's an important thing to me is half the net profits are earmarked to be donated to the Aftermath Foundation. You know, so of course I want it to sell because I want it to sell. Yeah, I know. Kim bought a copy. I know everybody's telling me who's bought it. I've sold like 19 so far, and you know I want that number to go up, of course, because this community. I know everybody said, you know, a lot of people say the same thing. This community that I found just inadvertently. I was watching, you know, true crime and all this stuff, and then I ran into Andrew Gold, which led me to the Masterson trial, which, you know, led to here. It's helped me out. Like last summer, I hit rock bottom. You know, and it was a devastating experience, and this has helped me climb out of that darkness I was in. And using my talent is practically the only thing I have in my arsenal to give back to, you know, something that's helped me out immensely. And you know, and if I can do this, make people think, donate, you know, raise a little funds. Like so far I've raised like $40. That's $40 more than they had.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we always look at. A dollar is a dollar. That's a dollar more than we had a minute ago. You know, that's why when people are like, oh, they'll get so offended if I donate a dollar. No, a dollar to the Aftermath is $1 they didn't have. Yeah, and it's $1 to anyone. It's $1 they didn't have.
And especially if it's like an under the radar Scientologist donating it to the Aftermath Foundation instead of giving it to, you know, a place that, you know, that won't help someone that will actually help.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, that'd be nice if we got, you know, their stuff, to be completely honest. So it's not letting me load it for some reason. I'm going to try one more thing.
Okay. Well, I can just read some. I can read some random
Why don't,
ones.
yeah, why don't you read that part? Because it's not letting me.
All right. Well, let me read the second one. It's called My Second Scientology Haiku, because how I wrote them, they're in the book. They are in the order that I wrote them,
Okay.
and most of them are like, it was related to some content that I was watching, and there are a couple of them that are actually dedicated to people. Well, this second one goes Scientology, clearing the planet one scarred psyche at a time.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Doug Kramer and Marcus Sawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I got one here that I wrote while I was watching. They did this thing called Backflash Fridays, and they were talking about all the promises that they were made when they were regged or recruited. You know, and this is my ninth one, and it's for Doug and Marcus. It goes Scientology. Broken promises are all it will ever keep.
Yeah. That's beautiful. That one could be a tattoo.
Yeah,
I'm just
well,
saying, or a T-shirt.
yeah, all of these are going to go on T-shirts.
Good.
Yeah, that is the plan.
that is the plan. That I need to do fourth wall. I need 500 subscribers. Right now, I got 181. Poetry is such a niche thing, and I don't do as much live streaming as other people do. So yeah, I grow. My growth plan for my channel from the beginning was one subscriber at a time.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
And if it takes me 5 years to get 1,000 subscribers, it takes me 5
right.
years.
That's right.
It's all about the work behind it.
We may not have many subscribers, but every single one is absolutely wanting to be on a subscriber to my channel.
Yeah.
Thumbs up. Do you know what I mean? It's like, awesome.
So as soon as Mrs. J's helped me out with this, as soon as we can come to a meeting of the minds and figure out how to do it, I'm gonna start my own merch store.
Yeah.
And part of the proceeds from all that will go to the Aftermath Foundation too. So and as soon as I can,
we've got some quite a lot of ideas really. Because I'm an artist, I do graphic design. As it helps me, with my condition and living with my back and everything. And so I've done a whole series of design pieces for Brian's book.
Yeah.
That we're looking at.
Yeah, and it's going to be like a copy.
Go onto a T-shirt.
Yeah, and I'm
excited about that.
I even got a Goldie line.
Yeah.
For her.
There we go.
Which she will benefit from, and stuff. There's all kinds of ideas, and it just takes a little bit, knocking it away a little bit at a time. So you got Miss Chief's
I see a question for you.
Which poets inspire me? Well, T.S. Eliot is one of my favorites. The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock, in my opinion, is the best poem ever written in the English language. But I'm also inspired by song lyrics. I firmly believe that, song lyrics or poetry put the music. Tool, Maynard Keenan is an absolute poet. Neil Peart, an absolute poet. Like I grew up listening to Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne and all the 80s metal and all that stuff. So there's a lot of influence there. Hell, Prince was a poet too. I used 1999 as a Party Like It's 1999 as an illusion, and then you got the Romantics and just various things like I don't have it on me, but I wish. There's a couple newer poets. I don't remember their names at the moment that have inspired me to do things. And like one of my best friends, she is an accomplished poet in her own right, and she inspires me to do things. And you guys inspire me, especially you ex-Scientologists. You guys inspired me to write a book.
Well, you're actually counseling yourself, Brian. You're counseling yourself using an understanding now that you can see through the veil of things. You're wanting to share that in the best way you can, because you
Yeah.
want to do the best that you can. For me, it's because it's a doable thing what we're doing. We could actually do this. Do you
Yeah,
know what I
and
mean?
yeah,
Whereas
and
other religion, maybe cults, maybe you couldn't do this. But
yeah.
No.
this movement in the last 6 months has gone.
Oh God,
And that's
I
what we need.
yeah,
The
it's
more
like
and more people.
yeah. I started watching the Scientology channels about a year ago, and the growth has been exponential. Like you said, in the last 6 months, it's just like I have to figure out: am I going to watch this on replay? If someone mentions something that happened, I'm like, okay, what the heck, So it's wonderfully frustrating. It's wonderful that it happens, but it's frustrating that I don't have enough time to bring it all in.
I mean, if it's a shame I'm just not well enough, because I'd love it that we
Yeah.
actually had SPTV running 24/7, so you could go from one to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next, and make it an actual channel that's doing, even though you're channel hopping,
Yeah.
to make it rotate on a 24-hour basis would be fantastic.
Yeah.
It'd be absolutely fantastic.
Kind of like
I've seen like RuPaul's Drag Race put them all together and then put them on one thing and just play it over and over again 24/7. So grabbing loads of different bits of each show and just running it 24/7. I mean, and people are watching it. Hundreds of people are watching it live, and it's just running and running and running. And you're just like, if SPTV got to that point where we could do that, oh my God, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Because of what YouTube does.
And like
Right.
and like I was thinking, I watch different networks on YouTube and all that stuff, but none of them have a resident poet. None of so we're unique in that way too. We're a very artistic community, and and to celebrate that, I'm actually putting together a anthology. Right.
Okay.
I put I'm calling out for submissions right now for the rest of the month. If you look on my YouTube page and the various Facebook pages, I've already posted the criteria, but it's called the SPTV Anthology: the photography, art, stories, essays, poetry, and etc. of a grassroots phenomenon.
Okay.
So
I might be able to throw some writings into that. I know my wife keeps telling me that I need to write about my childhood.
Write me an essay. Write me a little story. And anybody like Chow Young Smut, she's already submitted some photos, right? That I'm going to use a couple of those. I really want to put Clearwater Chad's one of his palm trees and that Jay Leno Smurf in there.
Okay.
And stuff like that. And I'd like to. My goal is to get it between 200 and 300 pages. So I need people to submit. It does. It can. Sin from Symphony Goods. She's actually going to be. I'm going to be publishing some of her recipes. It doesn't matter what it is. The only criteria is you got to be an SPTV viewer.
Yep, that's it. That works. I'll do something. I'll send you something.
Yeah.
I did see this while we were talking.
Yeah.
Amy, thank you so very much for showing up. I watched on 2x speed and I still can't get caught up. That's a good thing. There used to be a day when there would only be like 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. Now we have so many because we've all reached a point in our getting through what we went through and everything else, that it's like there's so many channels, and the more the merrier. I'm a firm believer in keep them coming. Keep those channels coming. If you want to be out, then a never in. If you want to talk about Scientology, absolutely, just let people know it's garbage. It's going to warp you. It's going to twist you. It's going to tell you have to take ownership of someone assaulting you.
Well, can I read another one? But I want to read a limerick.
Okay.
I have a set of limericks in there called Captain COB.
Okay.
So And this one's called Captain COB Volume 2.
Okay.
So here is our little boss baby, whose moniker is that of Davy. Many do attest he's a giant sadist, this captain of a dirt water navy.
True.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
our stripes
I've
without
done
honor.
I've done a brilliant piece of artwork to go with that.
Okay, I can't wait to see it.
I have. Have I
If
printed it off? Have I printed one of those off?
here, I will put here. I will put my. It's from a poet press at Gmail. Is where you could do submissions, or if you want to get in contact with me. Because I want to have too many submissions, not enough. You know what I mean? And I believe that this community is just such that we've got such a high level of artistic individuals. That's where the empathy comes from.
Yep.
Most artists are very empathetic people. And
Yep.
and
No, it's in the other room. It's in the other room. Sorry.
So
I did see one question. So Selma V. Sleitenhorst. We're going to guess at that because, ich sprechen Sie Deutsch. Question, Liz, would you be interested in some Dutch Pokemon cards? I would love to send them. Absolutely. I love all Pokemon cards. All of them. I think that they're amazing. Like, I just got a set of the 1st gen, 2nd gen, and they're already in sleeves, in a protected case, and I'm just oogling and awing them. And
you can send them all to Liz.
Yeah. she'll take any of them, huh?
Yeah. Like, I love them.
Do you actually have any that came from Europe or that were specialty?
I have quite a few Japanese. Quite a few is what we're just going to put it.
That would make sense.
I have a couple Spanish, a couple of Italian, not any big cards. But people have sent me different countries that they're in. Like I thought it was a little cool that someone had said, "Oh, I'm just going to send them to your PO box," and I'm like, okay.
Cool.
I don't care if they're only worth $1. Like, I love them all, and I think they're the coolest things ever.
That's cool. That's good.
I love that. That's great. So, do you have like a Pokemon onesie?
I have a Charizard, which I've rocked out on. I just got the Charizard one. My favorite Pokemon is Mewtwo, and they don't make that. So Mewtwo was a mixture of Mew and all these other Pokemon, and he was basically raised in a lab, and basically tortured his whole life. And so it just kind of resembles my past. You want to forgive these people, but they've done some bad things. So you just have to be better than those bad things.
Yeah, the only Pokemon I know is Pikachu.
There's Pikachu. There's
That's
Charizard,
the only one I know.
Ivysaur.
The only one I know.
Yeah.
That yellow one.
Yeah. My ex-nephew, my nephew was into Pokemon. You could probably talk with him all day about it.
Probably. I do have this one. So let's see if there we go. So this is the Venusaur.
Oh, look at that shiny one.
Yep. It's worth a little. It's worth a few pennies.
Cool.
A few pennies. I'm putting that up for the Denver and our. Basically, it's Denver and it's lose weight with Denver, and so I challenged Denver that if he wins, he gets my Venusaur, and if I win, I get his Denver pillow.
Well,
I'm okay with that.
What's his goal?
There's no goal. We didn't put any kind of goal.
Okay.
I did set a thing like who can lose like 25 pounds within 2 months, which feasibly it's not too much.
If he loses 25 pounds, I might just send him an autographed copy of this.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
We're all doing little bits and steps. Miss Marilyn has joined in, so it's not like a bet with everybody, but it's just lose weight with Denver.
Yeah, because Denver's a good guy. He's a good guy.
we all need support every once in a while. Okay, because realistically, whether you're an in or never in, it's about being there for each other. We're all human.
Mhm.
That's why I say it at the close and try to do it in the middle. Remember in the comments, we're all human.
Mhm.
You know, I did see one thing that I grabbed real quick because I saw a question. Selma Von Slate. Oh,
That was that
I
one.
read that one. Sorry.
Mhm.
Okay. Kazahady.com. Question. Do you know about when the in-person protests at church Scientologies are happening? Details and past events. So I'm going to be, with me making it down there, I'm going to be streaming it live. Aaron has already posted that, as you guys all know, Aaron has already posted that he is going to be there. Laura already lives there. Tommy Scobie is also stated,
Yeah,
or
he's going to be.
Scoville, I apologize. He has also posted that he is going to be there. I know Amy's in the chat, so hopefully she hears this. Maybe Amy will be able to make it because I would love for, the celebrity center. I'm trying to get Nara. I'm trying to get Nora to come down as well.
Yeah.
So that way, those of us that were posted at the celebrity center or had something to do with the celebrity center can get out whatever happened to us.
And if you can get all those people there, a bunch of other people will probably show up too.
It's kind of like Field of Dreams. You build it, they will come.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yep.
So,
well, lovely people, I'm gonna head off because of my back.
Okay, well, it was nice meeting you, Miss J.
Yeah, and then we'll talk later, Mrs. J.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
feel better.
It's my life, unfortunately, and
I know the feeling. I've got a few things, so I know the feeling.
Hence why you see me online a bit. Investigating, finding stuff. Right. Goodbye, lovely people. Have a wonderful evening, and I will catch you all soon. Bye-bye.
All right, Mrs. J. Well, so I guess it's been about an hour, so
yeah, roughly about an hour. So I mean, I'm not in any rush.
But
but people, if you haven't subscribed, Mr. Poet may not boast about subscribers, but you know what? Support each and every single one.
Yeah.
At the same time, he writes some beautiful limericks. He writes some beautiful poetry, just in regards to what we've lived through. Then it makes us feel better, and it helps us. So if you're not subscribed to Mr. Poet here, please subscribe. Get him to that 500. Get him to the 1,000. Get him to whatever we need, whatever he would like.
Yeah, and
I know that I would love everyone to smash and hit subscribe. Smash the like button, hit subscribe. The more people we reach, the better.
Yep. And
that's how it works.
Well, since
what is your channel address?
It's called From a Poet. Real easy.
From a poet.
From a poet. And you'll see me. Yep, that's it right there. You search that and it'll come up. Well, I guess, can I read something to you?
Absolutely.
I'm going to read what started it all out here. Whistle like a whippoorwill. For you, Liz Ferris. Dad, you said once, all I had to do if I was somewhere lost is whistle like a whippoorwill, and you would always come find me. Whistle once to let you know I'm lost. Whistle twice to let you know I need help. Whistle 3 times to let you know I was okay. When they told me you died, I whistled like a whippoorwill. Once, twice. It took me a long time before I could whistle 3 times in a row. Then I discovered the truth. They had lied. Now I stand outside Int Base. I whistled like a whippoorwill once, twice. I will wait to whistle like a whippoorwill 3 times when I run into your arms.
Great. If you make me cry, I'm gonna be not okay.
Okay, I'm trying not to cry myself. Because I still.
But at the same time, it's so beautiful because I remember his whistle. I remember it like the back of my hand. I do see someone just said, oops, clicked the wrong one. I'm click happy today, people.
That's cool.
Someone subscribed. You know, one person at a time. One person at a time. That's all I take.
Yeah,
I know
that's
I
all it
looked at
takes.
it like that.
And Cassie, the one right above her, above that one, there. Thank you for adding me. You know, that means a lot. You know.
Okay, so we have a couple star ones.
Let's go over
Okay.
those.
Uh,
Can you
Lumi Duana.
can
Lumi
you
Duana.
can you see that? I can see some of them. I guess it's if you have it set in your settings where it shows when you subscribe. Some people do, some people don't. I don't know if mine is or not, so I don't know
Yeah,
about that.
I have it set up to notify me when someone else is subscribed, and
Mm-hmm.
I start to recognize the names that of people
Mm-hmm.
commenting or people emailing me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
that way I can thank them for helping me get the message out.
yeah. The ones that matter are the ones that stick around.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everyone matters because
Yes.
that's a hard part, because I'll never
Mm-hmm.
be not grateful for someone
Oh yeah.
listening for 5 minutes, because that's 5 minutes that they'll understand what's going on, and 5 minutes where they'll be able to stop a friend from joining something like that. So I'll take 5 minutes if that's
Yeah.
what they give.
So Mrs. J's channel is you go at Mrs. J or I am Mrs. J. Here, let me look it up.
At Miss J or at I am Miss J?
I think it's I am Mrs. J. I'll have to look here. Oh, and yes, Miss Chief, it does show that you subscribe to me. Thank you.
So I put them both up there just in case.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Bring that back up right quick. There.
I see Clearwater Taylor in the house. Mrs. J was still in the chat a second ago, so I don't know if she still is. So hopefully that was right. Yodi DeViv.
Yeah, it is. I am Mrs. J.
I am Mrs. J. Okay.
Yeah, I am Mrs. J. MRSSJ. Yeah, the second one there. So that works.
I do love this comment just because I think everybody will kick out of it. Cedar Duval. Can someone send a bus to pick us all up? I want to be at the protest. I do understand. I'm trying my best to get there too.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to go to the place that tortured me.
Yeah, it's like if I didn't live 2/3 of the way across the country, maybe it'd be easier. It'd be easier for me to go to somewhere like Florida, because it's just it's like a 13 hour drive for me. But it's 2 days over to California. So I eventually want to get there. Like eventually I want to do book tour. If I could put together a book tour, but that's going to take time and resources I don't have at the moment. I'm working with Marcus, hopefully to do something down in New Orleans. So
I do love New Orleans.
So everybody's invited. I want, I've talked with Liz Gale about it. If I can put that together, maybe she can come down and do it. Her book is just awesome, really, really good, and stuff. So who knows? Future's wide open.
Yep, we'll figure something out, because I know I've gotten a couple emails where they're like, you should go on tour. You and Nora would be a great stand-up act.
No. I think y'all should go on a lecture tour.
Well, we could go on a lecture tour, because some people have also said I'm a good speaker and things like that.
You could just go on stage and do what y'all do on live. That's what y'all could do.
Wanted you to know who just subscribed to you.
Oh, thank you, Amy. Thank you very much.
That's right, Miss Scobie herself.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing I was going to say is that, like, we all have our moments, and whatever inspires us. I do it a lot with comedy, primarily because if I really just sit there and dwell on it, then I will never get past it. But what helps me get through it is comedy.
Yeah.
Is there some time that my comedy is not warranted? Sorry, but everybody goes through it their own way. And me personally, how many bones are in a human body? Let's be realistic. I know that answer because I've broken every one of them. you know.
Mhm.
It's meant as soft humor because realistically, if I don't laugh, I'll cry.
Yeah.
And crying, as much as it makes me feel better,
Yeah.
I don't want to look at it all negative the rest of my life.
Oh no, and putting putting a spin on it to where you can go, yeah, I went through that stuff. It was stupid or tragic, or it's finding that silver lining.
Yep.
You know, and finding those silver lining, no matter how dark the cloud is, because I've been through that myself.
Yeah.
You know,
And
and,
sometimes that it gets dark, it gets
oh
rainy.
yeah,
And
oh yeah, oh yeah. Especially when you don't think that anybody understands. You
yeah, or
know,
anyone's been there. You
yeah,
don't know my experience, or I bet you it wasn't that bad.
yeah,
Realistically, each person had their own
hmm
experience. I
hmm
personally just had a really
yeah,
doo-doo one,
yeah. You had a horrific one, and
you
most
know?
of them are horrific. Very,
Yeah, and we each have our own story. The
mhm.
difference is if you actually sit down and listen to everybody's story, they may not be identical,
But there's a
but they're
common
the
thread.
exact same.
There,
That
there,
thread
yeah,
intertwines between all of us.
and that thread Scientology.
Yeah, and that thread came with breaking down willpower,
Hmm
breaking down, all of this stuff, trying to make us feel like we were total and utter garbage,
hmm
and now it's about rebuilding. It's almost like you're being reborn because now we have a true chance at life. And I want everybody inside to also have that chance at life,
Yeah.
and I think
hmm
that's the part of our poetry that we mix together
hmm
is that it's literally a chance that we're trying to reach out. We're just reaching so
Yeah.
that way we can try to get someone out.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my dad out.
Yeah, and hopefully, hopefully what we're doing here will be what I call, inspiration requires perspiration for the lubrication, right?
Okay.
So maybe the perspiration we're putting in will be that lube for that inspires just one person to say laters, you
Yep.
know, you
One
know,
person wakes up, I'm happy. Two
yeah,
people wake up, I'm ecstatic.
and
10
well,
people wake up, I'm doing the jumping jacks and doing the
mhm,
woo, 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 woo.
mhm,
Mhm. If one of them
definitely.
happens to be my dad, I'm going to be doing the hootie hoop. Please, someone hand me a tissue.
Yeah, well,
You know,
I keep sending vibes out in the universe that happens sooner rather than later. Because
I'm going to have them while I still have time left.
I'd like to write a part two.
Okay.
I would.
I'll read it.
Definitely. I have to. I'm getting nerves to. I have to go do some stuff. But
Okay.
I want to close out on reading another limerick. How's that
Okay.
sound? This one's called a Scientological limerick.
Okay.
So here we have this thing, Scientology. It calls itself a modern-made theology. Its truth is beneath a cloak of mirrors, lies, and smoke, and out of touch with all reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can tell you one thing that seems to shock everyone. When I got out in 2000, I couldn't have told you who the president was. I couldn't have told you who the governor was. I
Mm-hmm.
could not tell you who was the governor of Los Angeles. Couldn't have done it.
You mean the mayor?
Or sorry, the mayor. I'm thinking the
See,
governor of
governor.
California.
governor.
But either
Yeah.
which way, I couldn't have told you that. I couldn't even have told you the date or
Mm.
time frame. I could have been like, I think it was a Monday, but it was either Monday through Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
but I know this is how the temperature was, because it's not like we had our watches that would give us the time or cell phones. So yeah. But I know that you have to go do something. I have to go do something.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to do my standard closing to
Mm-hmm.
please be nice to everybody in the comments.
Yeah.
Remember, we're all human.
Uh,
Don't forget to tip your waiter or waitress.
Mhm.
Do you have a close you want to use?
I just want to thank everybody for showing up. If you want to buy my book, remember it's all for a good cause, and like on Liz's channel. That way, right over that way.
Yep, there you go.
That way, like on
That
Liz's
always gets
channel.
me too, because I'm all,
Yeah.
oh, you're right there, but
Yeah.
nope, you're right there.
That way, this way, and like on Liz's channel, and subscribe to her if you're not, and and the reverse for me, and hopefully we'll get together and do this again. And I know I've been in contact with V about doing the book club, so
Nice.
that's what I want to do, because I did write a book, and it is a unique one.
It is
Mhm.
unique, and it also helps all of us. So
Yes.
so
So
it is definitely that.
no, well, I appreciate everybody for showing up, and I appreciate you, having me on your channel.
Always. We'll do it again, I promise. We'll
Definitely.
do it again.
All right.
Well, everybody, thank you for showing
Bye,
up.
everybody.
Have a great night
You
until we
too.
speak again.